Have you ever wondered why two people can be born into the same world, breathe the same air, attend the same schools, and yet end up living completely different lives? Why does one person seem to attract opportunities wherever they go, while another struggles despite working twice as hard? Is life really unfair? Or is there something hidden, something most people never discover? Imagine that every child born into this world arrives with a treasure chest, not a chest filled with gold, not diamonds, not land, but something infinitely more valuable. A treasure so powerful that, when discovered and developed, it can create wealth, influence, peace, significance, and fulfillment. The tragedy is that very few people ever open that treasure chest. Many die carrying it. That is why the title of this message is The Invisible Treasure Everyone Possesses, but Only a Few Ever Utilize. Let's begin with a simple truth. The richest place on earth is not the oil fields. It is not the diamond mines. It is not the gold reserves of nations. Many have said that the richest place on earth is the cemetery, because buried there are unwritten books, uninvented machines, unpainted masterpieces, unstarted businesses, unsung songs, undiscovered medicines, ideas that could have transformed humanity. Every one of them died with their owners. The invisible treasure is not outside you, it is inside you. Nature gives every human being raw materials. Some receive musical intelligence. Others possess extraordinary empathy. Some solve problems instinctively. Others communicate brilliantly. Some organize people naturally. Others imagine possibilities that nobody else can see. Modern psychology calls these natural tendencies strengths and abilities. Ancient philosophers spoke of gifts. Whatever name you give them, the truth remains. Every human possesses something that the world needs. But why do so many never discover it? Because from childhood, many people are taught what to think, rather than how to think. They are rewarded for fitting in, punished for standing out, compared constantly with others. Slowly they begin to forget who they really are. Imagine planting an eagle among chickens. If the eagle never sees the sky, it may spend its entire life believing it was born to scratch the ground. Its wings remain powerful. Its vision remains extraordinary. Its nature never changes. Only its belief changes. Many people live exactly like that eagle, not because they lack greatness, but because they never realized what they carried within. Here is another remarkable observation. Success rarely begins with money. It begins with awareness. Before someone invents a product, they first recognize a problem. Before someone becomes wealthy, they usually begin seeing opportunities that others overlook. The invisible treasure often reveals itself through curiosity. What topics excite you naturally? What problems do people constantly ask you to solve? What activities make you lose track of time? These questions often point toward your hidden treasure. The greatest theft in history is not the theft of gold, it is the theft of human potential. Not always by force, sometimes by fear, sometimes by discouragement, sometimes by tradition, sometimes by poverty, sometimes by repeated failure. Each disappointment whispers the same dangerous lie. You are ordinary. But history repeatedly proves otherwise. Many remarkable individuals were once considered failures. Some struggled academically. Some lost businesses. Some were rejected repeatedly. Yet they eventually changed the world because they refused to define themselves by temporary circumstances. The invisible treasure does not disappear because life becomes difficult. It simply waits to be awakened. The question is no longer whether you possess it. The question is whether you will discover it before your time runs out. If every human being carries invisible treasure, why do so few ever experience extraordinary lives? Because treasure hidden beneath the earth never changes anyone until it is uncovered. Your gifts operate the same way. There are 5 invisible thieves that rob people throughout their lives. The first is fear. And fear convinces people to remain comfortable. It whispers that failure is permanent. Yet every great achievement carries uncertainty. The second thief is comparison. Social media has intensified this problem. People compare their beginnings with someone else's middle. They assume another person's path should become their own. But an oak tree can never become a palm tree. Each fulfills a different purpose. The third thief is distraction. Never before in human history has attention been under such constant attack. Notifications, entertainment, arguments, endless scrolling. Many people no longer have enough silence to hear their own thoughts. Treasure often reveals itself in moments of reflection. The fourth thief is limiting belief. If someone hears repeatedly that they are incapable, they may eventually accept that story as truth. Psychologists describe this as learned helplessness. People begin expecting failure before they even attempt success. The fifth thief is neglect. Talent grows only through discipline. Potential without practice remains invisible. A seed possesses enormous possibilities, yet unless it is planted, watered, and protected, it never becomes a forest. Many people mistake talent for destiny. Talent is merely possibility. Discipline transforms possibility into reality. Have you noticed that some people seem lucky? Look carefully. Often what appears to be luck is years of preparation meeting one unexpected opportunity. When preparation meets opportunity, people call it fortune. When preparation is absent, opportunity quietly passes by unnoticed. Your invisible treasure demands preparation. Read, observe, practice, fail, improve, repeat. This is how invisible gifts become visible achievements. Nature itself teaches this lesson. The butterfly cannot skip the cocoon. The bamboo spends years growing underground before suddenly rising rapidly. The diamond forms under tremendous pressure. Growth usually happens long before success becomes visible. Never despise seasons when nothing appears to be happening. Invisible development often precedes visible transformation. Many people quit because they mistake silence for failure. But sometimes life is preparing you beneath the surface. Every meaningful achievement begins invisibly. A building first exists as an idea. A book begins as a thought. A company starts as a conversation. A movement begins with one conviction. Everything visible once existed only in someone's imagination. That is why protecting your mind matters so much. Your invisible treasure is closely connected to the quality of your thinking. Feed your mind with wisdom rather than constant negativity. Choose environments that stretch your imagination instead of shrinking your confidence. The invisible treasure grows wherever it receives attention. So how do you uncover this invisible treasure? Begin by accepting one simple truth. You are not here merely to survive. You are here to contribute something uniquely yours. Start observing yourself honestly. What problems deeply concern you? What skills come naturally? What work energizes instead of exhausting you? What compliments do people repeatedly give you? These clues matter. Next, invest in continuous learning. Knowledge sharpens gifts. Practice strengthens abilities. Experience produces wisdom. Never assume you have arrived. Growth has no finish line. Another principle is courage. The treasure hidden inside you will eventually demand difficult decisions. You may need to leave familiar environments. You may need to acquire new skills. You may need to face criticism. Remember this. People often criticize what they do not understand. Do not allow temporary opinions to determine your permanent future. Build meaningful relationships. Many treasures are unlocked through collaboration. Your gift may solve someone else's problem, while their gift solves yours. Success is rarely a solo journey. Remain humble enough to learn, confident enough to act, patient enough to grow, and disciplined enough to continue. Above all, remember that wealth extends beyond money. True wealth includes peace of mind, health, character, wisdom, relationships, purpose. Financial abundance without these often becomes another form of poverty. Perhaps the greatest tragedy is not dying poor. The greatest tragedy is dying full of unused possibilities. Imagine reaching the end of your life and realizing that the ideas, abilities, leadership, creativity, compassion, and courage you carried were never fully expressed. Do not let that become your story. The invisible treasure inside you has waited long enough. It does not need another excuse. It needs your decision. Decide to discover it. Decide to develop it. Decide to share it with the world. Because the world is not waiting for another copy of someone else. It is waiting for the contribution that only you can make. Perhaps you were never truly robbed at birth. Perhaps life simply buried your treasure beneath fear, doubt, distraction, and limitation. Starting today, begin digging. One lesson, one habit, one courageous decision, one disciplined action at a time. Years from now, people may call you fortunate. They may call you gifted. They may even call you extraordinary. But you will know the truth. You simply uncovered the invisible treasure that had been within you all along. If this message challenged the way you think, share it with someone who needs the reminder that greatness is not reserved for a chosen few. It often begins with discovering what has been hidden inside you from the very beginning. This is Mind of Afsok. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and never stop uncovering the treasure within.